We all need to be nurtured and validated as children. It's so important for our own ability to self-love. It's like the groundwork for our ability to have confidence, for self-love, for self-worth, all the things. So when we don't have that in our childhood, we'll have a hole inside of us and we'll crave and look for somebody to fill that hole. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and today we're going to talk about part 1 of unexpected signs you have a mother wound, a mommy issue. I feel like a lot of people struggle with being able to identify where their issues come from, and it's really hard for them to pinpoint and say, oh, it came from my childhood, or it came from this parent or that parent or this situation, because it's very painful to acknowledge and admit when our parents have caused some type of wound and we don't want to believe it. Because the minute we believe that our parent has caused a wound, it changes our reality and our perception of things, and we then feel unsafe and we feel unsure about life. Like, it feels like a betrayal. So a lot of us will cling onto hope and cling on to thinking that, you know, it's not our parents, or we'll have cognitive dissonance and we'll try to create realities where they're not the ones that are hurting us. I talk a lot about the mother wound and the father wound in my series Mommy Issues and Daddy Issues. I highly recommend you go and check that out if you want more deeper explanation of the importance of a mother and how it affects you. Today we're solely going to focus on the unexpected things you wouldn't think would affect you when you have a mother wound. Before we get started, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Missy, and on this channel we get to the root of the issue and we learn how to heal and deal. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to be a part of the fam. And if you already are a subscriber, you know I appreciate you so much. Also, if you haven't checked out my book, please go check out my book, Anxiety at the Root. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on Etsy. It will really help you with any negative thinking, or if you just experience overall anxiety and you've tried everything and nothing else has worked, this will help you with your mind and your body connect so you no longer deal with anxiety and it gets to the real root. You can check all of that down below. Let's get into today's video. The first thing is you can't identify your needs. So in childhood, you learn about your needs and what you need and how to attend to your needs through your parents. If you had a mother that made everything about her and her own needs and you attending to her, you lose sight of your own needs and you don't learn those tools and those skills of learning, okay, this is what I need. It's always what my mom needs. And you start to always attend to other people's needs, and you have a really good gauge of being able to see what other people need. You even kind of can predict what other people need, and you're very in tune with others, and that's because that was a skill that had developed and you needed it in order to survive. So if you had a mother that made you attend to her physical, her emotional, or her mental needs, meaning like you had to take care of her physically, you had to maybe pay the bills, you had to get a job early, or you had a mom that you always had to push down your feelings and make her feel better. Like if you ever brought up your feelings, she would become a victim and she felt guilty and, oh my god, like I'm such a bad mom. Like I try my hardest, you know, make everything about her, then you will naturally feel like you always have to attend to her needs and suppress your own feelings and needs. And this is so that way you don't get abandoned or rejected. Your mom and your dad, they are everything. Like you're a helpless child. When you're a helpless child, you will rid yourself and your needs in order to attend to your mother. So that way you don't have to face potentially getting abandoned. And you really crave safety and also acceptance. Part of our needs as children is to be accepted by our parents. If we don't feel accepted by our parents, then we don't feel like the world will accept us. So in adulthood, you will struggle with answering basic questions. Like if someone asks you, what do you need or what do you want? You may answer it of like, it's okay, whatever you want, I'm okay with it. You may even feel guilty for having preferences. You immediately be like, don't worry about me, or like, oh, I need this thing, don't worry about it. You just focus on you. The next is you struggle with female friendships. If your relationship with your mother was toxic, enmeshed, or there was a lot of manipulation, you may subconsciously associate women with judgment, control, or betrayal. And this is because your mother is the first female relationship you ever have. And so it sets the tone of what you believe other relationships with women will be like. And this is both for women and men. So you may walk around subconsciously believing negative things about women because you're projecting what the relationship was like with your mother and her negative traits. You subconsciously believe all women are like that. Even if you logically understand they're not, if there's a subconscious belief, then it's really hard for you to break free of that belief if you don't work on it. So now, present tense, you may either avoid female relationships, you may become overly attached to warm women from the lack of warmth you had with your mother, or you will become overly attached to women that were kind of similar to your mother. And that's because your inner child comes out, and since you didn't get that approval from your mom, you will try to get that validation and approval from people that remind you of your mom. So subconsciously it feels like, oh, I'm able to get that approval and validation after all for someone that's similar to my mom. The next is you fear becoming your mom. If your mom had negative traits, like she was emotionally abusive or controlling or even overly self-sacrificing to the point where it hurt you, like she would sacrifice herself to other people and it would hurt you in the end, you may carry deeply that fear of repeating her behaviors. You know there's parts of you that are going to be similar to your parents, so you fear being like them. There may be parts of you that try to distance yourself from your mother as much as possible from that fear of becoming like her. Or if you do notice some traits in yourself that are like her, you may start to hate yourself and become really mean to yourself. So how that affects you now is you may notice you overly correct yourself. So you'll be really harsh with yourself. You're very judgmental of yourself. You may be emotionally distant, overly permissive, or a perfectionist. You may notice you criticize yourself so harshly at any trait that is remotely similar to your mother. And the thing that you have to keep in mind and remember is that yes, we are going to carry some of our parents with us because that's all we know, but the best thing about, or the biggest difference between us and our parents is that we are aware. You are aware that you have these traits that you don't like and you can actively do something about it. Is it easy? No. Does it take a lot of work? Yes. But it's possible for you to do something about it, which is the great part about it. Your mother most likely was not aware of these things, and so she's stuck. The next is you emotionally shut down around nurturing people. If you had a mother that was more cold and the nurturing was inconsistent, transactional, or even the opposite where it was smothering growing up, then that's gonna make you uncomfortable when you're around it. True care may feel foreign or like it's a threat. If you're not used to something or it's been used as a tool, you're going to be afraid of it. Like, what is this? This makes me uncomfortable. Even though it may make you feel like warm or fuzzy, it's like, wait a minute, like I've been through this before, something bad is gonna come from this, or I don't know what this is, and even though it feels good, like I'm gonna be careful of it because I don't want to get hurt. Or it could be on even the opposite spectrum where when you're around nurturing people, you crave it so badly that you can become toxic yourself and you just want more and more and more from them because it's this good positive feeling that you've never really been around, and so you don't know how to control yourself, because we all need to be we all need to be nurtured and validated as children. It's so important for our own ability to self-love. It's like the groundwork for our ability to have confidence, for self-love, for self-worth, all the things. So when we don't have that in our childhood, we'll have a hole inside of us and we'll crave and look for somebody to fill that hole. And it's so addicting when we don't have it that it can cause us to do toxic things like to overly smother somebody else, or for us to not cut off something when it's no longer healthy for us. So you can do that. Or what you'll do now, if you're someone who is very uncomfortable with nurturing, you may question other people's motives. You'll pull away, you'll deflect, or you may accuse them of wanting something from you. And this is all when someone shows genuine affection. You're not used to authenticity and someone being genuine. You're used to it being transactional or non-existent. And the last one for part one is you are very hard on yourself about parenting. So this can happen whether you have kids or not. If you don't have kids, you may have anxiety about kids and prevent yourself from having kids, or question if you should have kids and you're like, I need to stop the generational trauma. Or if you do have kids, you will be really hard on yourself. You never feel like you're good enough. You always feel like you're messing up in some sort of way. You were trying to overcompensate for the lack of safety you didn't have and for the lack of love you didn't experience. You may feel like you don't know what you're doing. You're trying to break this generational trauma and you don't know what you're doing because you didn't have a good example. So it can be very scary and you will constantly doubt yourself. So now you will obsess about doing everything right, and any missteps, you feel like you're failing your child. And the biggest thing is you fear you are becoming your mother and you're failing your child the way that you felt fail. So these are the first couple in part 1. I thought I would try something different and break them up so it's not as long of a video. What do you guys think? Leave it on the comments below. Did any surprise you, or are there any that you can think of? Let us know. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye guys. My child has this big ass deer. It terrifies me. Ever since I watched Toy Story, I've been terrified of things with eyes. I feel like they have emotions and I feel really bad because I don't know what they need and I can't attend to their needs because they don't talk. So I don't know if they're cold or if they're hurt, and it just makes me uncomfortable when they have a face. I don't know if they're alive or not. Like, it just weirds me out. About your needs.